Hello, everyone. As we approach year end, I wanted to take a moment to reflect on some significant regulatory shifts in the second half of this year that have reshaped the landscape for private fund managers. These developments, covered in detail in Silver's Q3 newsletter, will continue to impact compliance and ESG well into 2025. For those of you already subscribed to our newsletter, Silver's Regulatory Recap, congratulations, you're well ahead of the curve. But for those of you who are not, please do subscribe because you can then manage your strategies accordingly. You can also get our insights and the latest thought leadership from us on Silver Vision, which is our blog, and it's accessible on our website. Now let's dive into those regulatory updates shaping the path forward. In a landmark decision on June 5th, 2024, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled to vacate PFAR, or the SEC's Private Fund Advisor Rule. It invalidated the SEC's authority around rulemaking. It's just unbelievable that this would even happen. The invalidation of PFAR highlights broader uncertainties within the legal and regulatory landscape for private fund advisors who were anticipating substantial changes under the rule. Unfortunately, the SEC continues to focus on these areas as areas of scrutiny during its examination process. We think here at Silver that private fund advisors should continue to focus on the areas that were highlighted in PFAR to ensure that they are meeting the standards that the SEC will undoubtedly scrutinize when they are going through examination. I have already learned from my colleague Nick when he was speaking to SEC exam priorities for 2025, there will be a pattern that you will notice that is in line with what the SEC was highlighting in PFAR, that it is now scrutinizing in its examinations of private fund managers. Please stay tuned for further details around this as we continue to follow the developing areas that the SEC will focus on. Next, on June 28, 2024, just 3 days after its 40th anniversary, the United States Supreme Court overruled Chevron USA Inc. versus Natural Resources Defense Council Inc., effectively ending Chevron deference, which mandated judicial deference to federal agencies' interpretations of ambiguous statutes they administer. I, as a former law student, know that everything I learned by way of administrative law was predicated on the Chevron doctrine. So effectively, where does the SEC go from here? They're thinking the exact same thing that we are. Now that they cannot rely on the Chevron doctrine, we need to keep an eye out on the proposed rules that they intend to put forth, as well as how Congress will react to this proposed rulemaking. I think it's important for everyone in the private fund industry space, as well as investment advisors, to understand that this is something that we have to keep a close eye on, because effectively, wherever rules may land, it will impact the investment advisory space. The overruling of PFAR, the vacating of Chevron are just examples of the many developments that we at Silver are following so that you, private fund managers and investment advisors, can keep abreast of and understand how it impacts your business. We intend to cover these developments as well as others in our Q4 newsletter we hope that you will subscribe to, so that, again, you can keep abreast of what is happening in this regulatory landscape. We ask that you stay tuned, and we do hope that you find these pieces of information interesting and helpful. And most importantly, feel free to reach out to us at Silver should you have any specific questions or concerns that we can address for you.